Well, hello, jazz fans. How in the world are you? Tom Manuel here, the president and founder of the Jazz Loft, with another episode of this wonderful series we call Behind the Scenes. It's an opportunity for me to dig deep into the archives that are housed here at the 6,000 square foot museum called the Jazz Loft that is dedicated to the preservation, the education, and the performance of the American-born art form called jazz. Well, if you've watched a few of these before, you're probably saying to yourself, wow, he really let that tune go kind of long. He usually only lets it run for a few seconds, but we were listening to the great cornet player Warren Vache, and that was a track from a Cole Porter tune called I Love You from Warren's most recent album entitled Songs Our Fathers Taught Us. And I think most of you out there probably know I'm a cornet player as well. So there was no way I was going to cut off that solo because, man, I was getting pretty inspired listening to it. Behind me is the exhibit we have dedicated to the great musician, the great cornet player, the great singer, the great composer and arranger, Mr. Warren Vache. Mr. Vache comes from Rahway, New Jersey. That's where he grew up. His dad was a bass player. His mom worked for Decca Records. We actually have a wonderful collection of 78 RPM records that were Mr. Vache Seniors. And many of those, including some rather rare and unique master acetates, came from Decca Records, courtesy of Mrs. Vache, who I had the pleasure of meeting many times, a real swell and nice lady. Warren plays the cornet, never really switched to trumpet. And a lot of people might say, well, gee, why was that? If you were to ask him or dig deep and look into interviews, he would reflect upon the sound and the tone that the cornet makes that is rather distinctive and different than the trumpet. It's a sound that he relates to and can associate to and feels connected to. Warren was really kind of thrown into it, baptism by fire from the beginning. He doesn't have that wonderful story of great teachers and everything working out. Actually, it was quite the contrary. If you read his biography, you'll find out that his formative years, the first few teachers were not a good fit, but then the right fit did happen. And that was with one of the greatest trumpet players of our time early on, a man by the name of Pee Wee Irwin. And under the tutelage of Pee Wee, Warren really blossomed. I think it goes without saying that he absolutely had some natural talent and definitely had an incredible ear and still does. His brother as well, Alan Vache, an incredibly accomplished clarinet player, and dad, of course, being the bassist and a great writer as well. Warren found himself in his early 20s in the ranks and in the midst of some rather incredible players, just to name a few: Benny Goodman, Roy Eldridge, Rosemary Clooney, who he recorded with and toured with for many years. The list goes on and on and on. Harry Sweets Edison. But what was really evident and really important in speaking about Warren was, yes, he did have that sound that was very characteristic of the old school traditional players. But Warren did not imitate anybody. He took little bits and pieces, but without doubt, Mr. Vache has his very own and unique sound. If you listen to the wonderful discography of his albums, you will see an incredible ability to put together masterful set lists and repertoire, drawing from some of the great composers, from Duke Ellington, Benny Carter, Harry Warren, and others. Some of his albums really are some incredible projects with strings and arrangements by some wonderful, wonderful people that Warren had connected with through the years, new and old. One of his most recent projects just a few years ago was with the WDR Big Band with arrangements by the great Rich DeRosa. So we are so happy to have the archives of Warren Vache here. Books, records, photographs, recordings, manuscripts that he got from so many different players, Ruby Braff and others. Most importantly, we are honored that Mr. Vache is one of the people that we could do an episode about, although the pressure is on a little bit, who is still very active and playing. So if you do not know the name Warren Vache, you got to check him out and come and hear him. He's at the Loft quite often. I'll close with one item in the archives that's not in the archives, and one thing that I'm really happy to boast about is this cornet here with Warren Vache's name inscribed right in it. This was the horn that Warren appeared with on so many of his albums. He played this for well over 20 years. I wish I could say it is part of the Jazz Loft archives. It probably will be one day, but not anytime soon, because this is without question one of the greatest gifts anybody gave me. This was a gift from Warren to me, and this is my horn that I play. I apologize to it daily after all that it got to experience, and now it's stuck with me, but I guess that's life. So anyhow, we hope that you enjoyed this episode of Behind the Scenes, celebrating the wonderful artistry of the master musician, Mr. Warren Vache. We hope that you'll come here to the Loft sometime soon. We do miss seeing you all, but we're hoping that we're going to open soon. In the meantime, you stay well, stay safe, and God bless. Take care.